Hey guys, this is just going to be well, as you would be able to tell from the title, what I would say combo video for my new Mermail deck and how I think Mermail should be played. Now, a team member of mine has gladly left so I can show this easily because I don't actually have the cards in real life because I live in Ireland and it's very difficult for me to get all the hands on the cards I need, and there just aren't as many players. So what I'm going to do is just shuffle up the deck and take 6 cards. It's 5, then 6. Now this is just a random hand, and as you can see there isn't much there that we can make for a first turn, and that's the problem with Mermail. So sometimes you can't expect to put down a solid foundation on the first turn of the deal. You can put a lot of pressure on your opponent, but you have a good chance of just getting Dark Hold or some form of spell or monster effect to get rid of what you've put out. Mermail do best when they're counteracting what the opponent does. Your opponent puts 2 set cards on the field and a face down monster, let's say they put down Ophion and 2 set cards. You play it a certain way. You know, everything's about counteracting what your opponent does. And that's how I think Mermail handled the best. And when you realise that you haven't got much on the field, you just go for game. Now with this hand, there isn't anything I can really do. So what I would do is that I'd summon Sphere, Spike, and use his effect to ditch this Spike, which would add any monster, level 3 monster to my hand, and I'd add the Gunda. Okay, and then I just end my turn. Now what that does is I've set myself up for a play next turn, and yes, I've ditched a Spike, but what happens is they're not going to OTK me. Hopefully they're not going to OTK me, because in this format not many decks can. Very few decks can actually OTK unless they're built out for OTKs, and they're quite inconsistent themselves. But what's going to happen is, if this gets destroyed or not, doesn't matter. Let's say it does. Let's say I take damage, and that gets destroyed, and whatever they have on the field, they set a card and they have a monster on the field with whatever attack points it has. Now it's my turn. Okay, so I draw my card, and what I do is I'm going to ditch my Gunda and Marksman, okay, to summon Megalo. And 3 things are going to happen now. I'm going to get Megalo's effect to search out an abyss spell or trap. I'm going to add Sphere. I'm going to get to pop any set card that they have. So if they have back row, take out the back row. You can always deal with monsters yourself. Set monster. And then Gunda's effect activates and I can bring back the Spike. Now, since I don't have anything in my hand worthwhile using for Spike's effect, I'm just going to leave it at that for now. And I can use, let's say they have an empty field, I can use Megalo's effect, ditch Spike, and attack. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to summon Diva, use Diva's effect. I'm going to bring out Marksman. And this is usually an OTK combo when you do it. You will send Diva to the grave for Megalo's effect, so Megalo can attack twice. So that's 48 damage. Okay, then you're going to attack with Spike, that's 16. Attack with Marksman, that's another 14. And the Marksman's effect will let you summon out your 1 Dragoon. Or infantry, sometimes you can use infantry if you need to go for a synchro play. And then you attack. And if they have an empty field, then you can see that that's 48 plus 16 from Spike plus the 14 and then plus the 18, and you're doing 9,600 damage right there. Okay, so what was a bad hand, a hand that we couldn't do much for a first play, we set ourselves up for the next turn. And even if this didn't go through, we have Scorn, I only run the 1 as a tech, we have Dark Hold in case you have anything too big, and we have Sphere for a Linda play or anything else that we need to get out. Okay, so I'm going to put all this back and grab another random hand. Yet again, not exactly much I have. Now I could set what I'd feel like doing is setting sphere and an MST or a mirror force. Maybe just set. What I do is probably set the sphere and the space typhoon, and not that they wouldn't know what I'm playing, so they might be afraid to attack. They might MST. The MST or attack, I activate the sphere, and I'm gonna bring out. It doesn't matter. At the end of the turn, I'm just gonna bring out my Linda. They'll have something on the field. Okay, probably a face-up card on the field. And when that goes to the grave, see, this is a combo no one really understands. Everyone always tries to bring up Megalo, Tias, or Lead when Linda goes to grave. When they do that play, you know, you're not making your push yet. You don't have the right setup to go for the OTK or go for a good push for game. So you shouldn't always just bring out Lead. You know, you bring out Lead, you bring out Megalo, you bring out Tias. What are you gonna do? Okay, you can go for rank 7 Exceed if you have the ability to do it, but it's just more consistent to bring out stuff to counteract what they've done. They have a face-up monster. I've got infantry in hand, so I can summon my Spike. Okay, Spike effect activates, and this is happening in their turn. I can ditch the infantry, which pops their face-up monster, and then I can add any level 3 I want. So I'm already setting up for my next turn, even in their turn. And that's what makes Mermail very powerful. Now, if they've got a lot of back row, I can add my marksman. If they don't have back row, and I want to make a push, a heavy push, I can add the Gunda, you know, combo pieces. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add Gunda. Gunda's always a card I prefer to go for. Okay, and then they'll end their turn, and it's my turn, and I'll draw a card. I've got a Linda, Tidal, Spike. And see, the problem with a lot of videos is they're trying to give you the combos. You have these cards in your hand, you go for this play. And it's always like the Megalo with the Dragoons and the Diva in hand kind of crap. And I think you should play it a different way. Now, we don't have much in hand, so what I would do is I'd send, this is a good play here, if you send Tidal and Gunda to activate Tidal's effect, which is basically a foolish burial, and then you can send any other monster you want, and I don't have much on the field, so I could bring out a 7, which would be good. You know, they've popped a monster, they don't have any back row, I can bring out Megalo, deal a lot of damage, which is an obvious play. Or I could bring out another Spike, which, you'll see how I'm bringing it out. So I'll just send a Spike, you know, just because the obvious play is to bring out the Megalo, and, you know, you got your Megalo to attack. But if you don't have a Megalo out, or your Megalo's banished, or you don't know what to do, or maybe you want some other combo, you can always do this. Then Gunda's effect will activate after Tidal has resolved, and you can special summon any Mermail. So you can go for Linda if you want to go for a defensive play. So that's also another thing. You don't just have to go for Megalo. I think that's the main point I'm trying to make in the video. Don't always go for Megalo. I'm going to bring back the Spike. I don't want to use its effect. You know, I could ditch a Linda and then add, you know, another Gunda or anything that I need. And what I play, I can go for Dweller if I'm playing Dark World, or a Mermail deck, you know, or any deck that utilises the grave. But what I like to go for, if I'm going defensive, or sometimes even attack wise, I'll bring out this guy. And what he allows me to do is I detach one to special summon a rank 3 from my extra deck, as long as it's water. Now I can go for what I love going for this card. Okay, Mermail Abyss Strike. Now I never ever exceed into her normally. I always do it this way, and it's great because like her effect is pretty good. You know, 2800 defense. You know, that's more attack than anything really in the deck. You know, anything you have in your main deck, that's more of a defense than any attack in your main deck. Very difficult to get over. And if you do, you know, summon her normally, you just detach one, and if they're targeting any other face-up Mermail monster with an attack, spell, or trap effect, you can make it you know, target her, which is pretty good. But I like bringing her out for a second effect because she's great defensively. 2800 defense. So if they do manage to get over her and destroy her either by battle or by effect, okay, I can target one Mermail monster in my graveyard, except her, and special summon it. You want a really good defensive play? You got Yolinda in grave, you bring out this thing, you special her, okay, and if she gets destroyed, you can bring back Yolinda, and then if you get rid of her, you can bring out something big. It's really good for making your opponent use up resources to get over stuff. That's my personal style of play. I prefer to play in a way where my opponent has to use up their resources to get over stuff, and once they use up their resources a little bit, I'm just going to push harder and harder to make them lose. Okay? But if you don't feel like bringing out her, another good card to bring out is this guy. Nightmare Shark. I rarely go into him as well. You know, I rarely exceed with level 3s anyway, there's only 2 of them. But this guy, when he's special summoned, okay, now that's not exceed summoned, which makes this card even better. It's when it's special summoned. Okay, you can attach one level 3 water monster from your hand or your side of the field as an, as an XYZ material. I've got Linda in hand. You run a bunch of other level 3s. A lot of the deck is level 3 water, so I can just attach this as material, and he already has this effect again. And what he does is you can detach one, target one face of water monster you control. That turn it can attack your opponent directly, but no other monsters can attack. Now this is great if you have powerful water monsters like Tiger King or Gungear, or even Gaios or Dweller. If you have, or Megalo, if you have something big that can attack directly, it's great to have him. Oh, forgot to detach. Another great thing to know about Mermail and Atlantean effects, when the discarding to activate, you get those effects if you use them with XYZ material. So let's say this is a Gunda instead of a Linda. I use Shark's effect on Bahamut Shark. This is a Gunda. Detach. That Gunda's effect will activate, and I can bring back a Mermail from, that's how not many people know that. I didn't really know that until I looked it up. But Atlanteans, because if you read their effects, if this card is discarded to the graveyard, where is it, this one? Now, when this card is sent to the graveyard, okay, not Gunda. I don't think Gunda's effect works. I'll have to look that up myself, but I think it works. I'm pretty sure Gunda's effect works. But I know infantry and marksman effect, they work, and so does Dragoon, because they're sent to the graveyard to activate a water monster's effect. So the Atlanteans definitely get their effects. I'm pretty sure Gunda does, but with the wording discarded, I wouldn't be too sure. Okay, I'm going to show you another way where personal tech that I have in, if you get a bad enough hand to where you can open it up and set up something next game. Okay, now this is an example of a hand that it's okay, but it's not that good, and a lot of players wouldn't know exactly what to do. I see a lot of bad Mermail players, and it's unfortunate to see it, because Mermail is a deck that, if you know how to play it, it can be extremely easy to play and very cost effective in the decisions you have to make. So you have Megalo, and what most players would do is they ditch Tidal, they ditch infantry, summon Megalo, grab a sphere if they even remember to do it, pop a card if they're able to pop it, use Tidal effect to banish the infantry and the spike, make a rank 7 whatever you do, and then go on from there and set the sphere. It's an okay play, but in the end you're getting one monster out overall, because you're going to exceed into something. You got one trap down, and you got 2 water monsters banished from your graveyard. Not exactly the best play you could have. You're only going to have 2 cards left in your hand. What I think it's best play, and with a certain tech of mine, it's really good. So you use Tidal effect as like a foolish burial, and I'm going to ditch the Megalo. And I'm going to send Fishbowl Archer. And what his effect is that I can discard a water monster. If I have no monsters on my field during my main phase, any one of them, I can discard that water monster to special summon him from the graveyard. But at the start of my battle phase, any monster that isn't water gets destroyed. And I can only use his effect once per turn. So it's pretty good resource to get yourself out of tight spots. So what I do, normal summon this. You know, if I have to pop it, if I'm popping something, I'm popping something. If I don't have something to pop, then I have to pop. And then I'm just going, where is he? Where is she? And I'm going to add her to hand. Now, if I really wanted to, I could special title, but I don't think that's the best play. I think just set the squall, and then you end your turn. Okay, they do what they do. They can get rid of your trap and get rid of, you know, spike. But so they get rid of spike. You take whatever damage you take. They don't pop the back row because, you know, not many decks. We've only 3 MST and a 40 card deck and no heavy, and some people aren't even playing MST. You know, I'm only playing the one. And then we're gonna next, so the out turn. Okay, yeah, they have they have nothing set. They might have a land set, but they don't really have anything set. They got the monster in the field. Not many people are playing back row because there aren't many back row things to play. You know, apart from Mirror Force, there isn't much you can play. So what I do, I don't control any monsters, so I ditch Gunda and a special Archer, and then Archer's effect will activate. Gunda's effect will activate, and I can special, depending on what I drew, I can summon a spike. Yeah, you know, I think I'm going to, yeah, I'm going to summon the spike, ditch the megalo, okay, add any level 3 I want, and just to be safe, I'm going to add, yeah, it doesn't really matter, I'm just going to add, screw it, I'm going to add Linda, okay, we're going to normal summon Linda, then I'm going to synchro up. Now I could have synchroed the other way with Spike and made a gun gear. Now that'd probably be the better way. Yeah, you know, I think I'm gonna go that way. Because you got Linda for defense in case he gets destroyed. Let's say they have a face down Mirror Force or whatever. So I'm gonna go for gun gear. Okay, then I'm gonna activate this. I'm gonna special summon megalos. Yeah, screw it, we're gonna go all in. Screw the Linda idea, we're just gonna go all in. Now they're supposed to be in defense position, but it doesn't matter because they're getting overlaid. Okay? We're going all in. Now, if they have a back row or something, you can discard a card. We have the one card to hand to discard for gun gear. So we can pop that, or we can make a Draco sack and pop, or we can just go. And Draco sack wouldn't get destroyed because it'd have a token out. So Fishborg's effect wouldn't, you know, really matter there. And I'm gonna make this. We got 3 water monsters out, and we got a lot of damage right there. Right there we have, I think it's 7,300 damage. You know, it's a lot of damage. And you have this. You could have gone for Draco sack to pop stuff with gun gear. You know, there's a lot of damage right off the bat. You want to make it even better? We can banish these, bring out the title. And now we just have OTK power for days. Okay, so that was a bad hand. And what some guys would have done is, you know, just bring out the Gaios, bring out the Draco sack, bring out the big guy, risk it getting destroyed. You know, or make a level 8 synchro, because we did have Baylor in the hand in the beginning, and they'd have nothing to do next turn. No plays, no idea what to do. They get this, they get their code, they're over. You know, they get, the opponent makes a counter, you know, everything's done. It's always best with Mermail to think of what you're going to do your next turn. turn. Okay, and set it up for your next turn, so when your next turn comes about, you can do something. And right here, you know, it's just that. It's just Jesus. It's beautiful. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it at that. And just, you know, if I'm gonna be posting a video soon of, you know, the Dev Pro Mermail dudes that I have, and you know, I might be posting a deck list. I'm not too sure yet, but these are different ideas. There's no structured combo that you need to pull off an OTK. You don't have to pull off an OTK because not all the OTK is going to work. Okay, you know, have more back row in some decks because it's less no heavy, and other decks are going to have less back row because, you know, bottomless and compost got hit. You know, so they're just going to be like, I don't need it now, I'll just go for something else. You know, you can switch out other cards, you can put trap stones in, it's not really going to matter. But I think the best way to, as I said about playing Mermail, set up for your next turn, and then push from there. Okay, if you need to hold down a defensive play for a few turns, you have the ability to do that. You know, you have Draco Sack, just look at this, you have Abyss Strike, who's great defensively. You got Draco Sack, who can pull off a defensive play. If you do the Bahamut strike play, you've got a 2600 attacker and a 2800 defender, whose effect will bring back something else. And with Shark's effect, you can make, you know, go for the push by bringing out this Nightmare Shark next turn. Or Kappa. Kappa is a really good card to bring out. Okay, you use its effect. Okay, you detach one, so you can detach your infantry to pop a face-up card, have it gain 1000 defense or attack. I usually gain the defense, you know, that's the position I'll keep it in. They go to attack or do something, discard a card from your hand, you know, discard your Gunda, bring back something else, you know, or discard any other monster that can get an effect. And you're safe for that turn, and you've already set up for your next play. And if you keep Kappa on the field and you detach again, it's going to have 3000 defense. And not many things can get over that. Like, just looking to my extra deck, it would take out not many decks and bring out, if we're going for normal decks that can't bring out stuff like Draco Stack and Big Out. You know, most decks are rank 4s and lower, maybe even into rank 5s and level 8 and 7 synchros, stuff like that. Blader can't get over 3000 or the 2800 Beast Strike. He can. Not many cards go into it, and even if he uses his effect, you know, if he uses his effect to get rid of the rest of my field and gets over this, I'm still going to bring out, I'm going to bring back something. You know, if he gets rid of this and I bring back my spike and ditch and infantry, that's gone. You know, it's a very good card. This I just bring in because it's level 6 water. The reason I lead in level 6 water is Archer's effect, because it will destroy anything that's non-water, and I needed something that, you know, a level 6, because I do have a lot of level 3s. So they're the few combos, and if you have any other combos that, you know, I might know about that you think that you should come up with and you think are good plays, let me know. I'd love to see them. Okay, so until next time, see you around.